Welcome to the Law Firm Marketing Minute, your source of internet marketing inspiration.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Law Firm Marketing Minute. I'm your host, John Henson, and this week I want to talk to you about podcasting. I know we've had episodes about this in the past, but I wanted to just kind of reiterate and give you kind of some updated numbers on just how popular podcasting has become. Now, honestly, if you're listening to this show and you've been listening to some time, you understand how important podcasts are, how effective they are. Just thinking about it in terms of your own use, people are probably consuming it in a very similar way. We've talked before about just kind of the unique way podcasting allows people to consume information, versus a blog or a video, that you basically are asking people to devote very specific attention to reading a blog or maybe watching a video. Of course, we do this podcast on video. So, you could obviously run a video in a background and have the video running in the background and still get the information. But at its core, just the audio element of a podcast does not necessarily require the same commitment that a blog or a video does. You can't be driving to work and reading a blog or watching a video. At least you definitely shouldn't be. But you can drive to work and listen to a podcast. You can go to the gym and listen to a podcast. You can do yard work and listen to a podcast, whatever it is that you're doing. And I think that is a huge, huge opportunity for business owners to reach people. Podcasting, it isn't just for influencers or celebrities or anything like that. I mean, it's certainly a great, platform for them to continue creating content, but it's also a good tool for businesses. It's a good tool for people, who listen to podcasts to learn things and not necessarily just to be entertained. And a huge percentage of people who listen to podcasts are listening to learn something, not just be entertained. So that's what I really wanted to focus on in this week's episode. And I've got some statistics here, some fresh statistics based off of 2021 numbers. At this point, 57% of Americans have listened to a podcast, just listened to one. So they're aware of them. They've listened to them. All right. 41% of people listen to podcasts on a monthly basis. The number of people who listen weekly, slightly lower, but that number has also grown. Just to give you a perspective, monthly podcast listeners have gone up 61.5% over the last 3 years. That's crazy. All right. So you have people out there. There are more and more podcasts coming up every single day. More and more people are listening to them. More and more people are opting to subscribe to podcasts and listen to podcasts in lieu of music because, look, new music today, I'm going to sound like a crotchety old man, but God, the new music today is not great. At this point, we kind of have our own music libraries established, whether you listen to classic rock or, 90s or 80s or whatever, you can listen to those songs whenever you want. You don't have to listen to the radio anymore unless you're listening to like a talk show, which is like a podcast. You don't have to just be streaming music on Pandora or Spotify, be listening to the same songs over and over again. You can listen to podcasts and you can learn something, or you can be entertained in a very unique way because each episode's generally different. It's not going to be the same 3 minutes every single time that you can sing along to, which has its merits, but I think people are recognizing more and more that there's so much extra value in podcasts. And here's the thing, not only, is the number of monthly podcast listeners going up, but it's going up with mostly your target audience. So, the numbers that I have here, from 2020 to 2021, the percentage of people aged 55 and up increased by 18%. And at this point, 25% of all consumers age 55 and up are listening to podcasts every month. So, it's not just for people in my generation and younger. anymore. Like people all across the board are listening to podcasts, and a lot of people have smart speakers in their phone, in their homes. So they're able to just listen to podcasts just kind of around the house now, which, instead of music or, doing whatever, or if they're not listening through their headphones. So there's a huge opportunity there, so regardless of what practice area you're in or what industry you're in, there's an opportunity for you to reach people. And here's the thing, it's not even just about reaching people. There's internal benefits as well. You having a podcast is still a status symbol. The podcasting is still relatively new. Not everyone does it. It's almost like, businesses who use video marketing and versus those who don't. Businesses who use video marketing, at least at first, that's way techy, that's way ahead, that's super advanced. Now it's like businesses who do video, it should be the standard, and anyone who doesn't, it's like, well, they're not even trying. And look, that's not my opinion, that's kind of the general feeling around video. So, I think it's like 86% of businesses at this point are using video. So like if you're in that 14%, I think that's the right math on that. If you're in that smaller percent that doesn't do video, people are looking at you as if you are behind, as if you, aren't trying as hard. You're stuck in the past, which I know in the legal industry, the stereotype of the world. But podcasting is still a good opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to not just catch up, it's an opportunity for you to get ahead, because there are a handful of legal podcasts out there run by lawyers, but there aren't a lot. And you don't have to, you don't have to turn every episode into a legal brief, but you can have every episode just answering common questions and explaining the law in a simple way that people can understand. And in that same vein, your podcast episodes can become pillar pieces of content that can maintain its value over time. So like if someone comes to your office and they say, hey, I'm going through this specific situation, I need, can you help me? I would like to get some more information. And it's like, hey, great, I'm glad you asked. We actually had an episode of our podcast covering this and more about 5 months ago. Here's the name of the episode. Go back and listen to it. And come back to us if you have any additional questions. And that elevates your status as the expert. We harp on how important that is, but it's a cool content medium. It gives people the opportunity to then sort of indirectly interact, but they can hear your voice. They can kind of pick up on your tone. And so they get a little bit more comfortable with you, and it helps, there's no data to back this up, but just psychologically, it helps the conversion process go a little bit smoother. Here's another stat that I think is super interesting. More Americans now listen to podcasts than those that have Netflix accounts. So that's a really weird wording, but basically what it means is there are, at the last kind of estimate, there are 69 million Netflix accounts. All right. There are 80 million people who listen to podcasts. So there are more podcast listeners than Netflix subscribers. And we can get into a debate about how many Netflix accounts are being shared and all of that. And, then you get into, well, how many the people are sharing a Netflix account that are like high school age or college age who, may not be in your target demographic yet and all that kind of stuff. But just that, but it's more of the number comparison that's really staggering. Is 80 million people listen to podcasts in this country, just in America alone. 80 million, that's a lot. All right. That's a huge percentage of people. All right. And the people that listen on a weekly basis, they listen to an average of 8 shows a week. All right. I can tell you right now, I don't listen to 8 shows a week, and I'm pretty big into it. All right. I'm hosting 2 shows. I have a personal show that I do. And then just like I subscribe to, I think 1, 2, 3, well, actually it might be about 8 shows. I think I listen to about 5 weekly on a weekly basis. but yeah, I mean, there's still plenty of opportunity out there for you. People don't have to subscribe to your show. They don't have to listen to every single episode, but what you're doing is you're building out a library of your expertise, of your information that you can point people back to help them get more familiar with their situation, to help them see that you're the person they need to hire. So I really, really do encourage you to explore podcasting as an opportunity. It doesn't have to be super polished. All right. This show in and of itself, I think it sounds pretty decent. No one's really ever had any complaints, but honestly, like, I'm working on $100 mic right here, and that's it. I have it plugged right into my laptop. This is all I'm using. Center Stage is similar. It's a different setup. I have a windscreen in front of that one because I just do that in my office over Zoom. But similar investment, about $100, and then there's a $12 monthly fee for hosting, and that can provide a ton of value. Especially if your marketing budget is thousands and thousands of dollars. That little bit, of upfront investment, $12 ish a month, depending on where you go. And then it's just your time, and your episodes don't have to be 2.5 hours long, maybe 10, 15 minutes, just like this show. And you can still get a ton of value out there. So I encourage you guys to just consider it, explore it, see what your own capabilities are. Reach out to me if you have any questions. What kind of show could you do? What kind of equipment should you do? How do you record? All that kind of stuff. I have all of those answers for you. I just don't want to turn this whole podcast into a Q&A. But if you want to submit your questions, maybe we can do a Q&A episode in the future. Or if you just want to reach out to me personally, I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys have around this or anything else in your marketing life. John, JOHN @spotlightbranding.com, or you can just go to our website, fill out the contact form, and just direct the question at me, and I will certainly get back to you and answer. So podcasting, huge opportunity. Really, I do hope you consider it this year as an extra part of your marketing strategy. And if you already have a podcast, let me know about it. I want to check it out and see what you got going on. I would really be interested in doing that. So that's going to do it for us this week. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining us. Please visit lawfirmmarketingminute.com for more information. We'll see you next time.